So, are you a laptop lover just because the size and the portability it offers you guys? And but secretly, you are always dreaming in your head that someday I will stumble upon a very compact gaming desktop which I would be easily able to carry to all my LAN party and show up. Hey, look, I have got a really compact gaming desktop with all the latest hardware in it. Well, then today I might just solve the problem for you guys. Let me show you the Asus G20 CB compact gaming desktop. So as this product does not come under the regular Asus branding, it comes under their ROG, Republic of Gamers branding. Just by the name, that is gonna pack some serious gaming horsepower. And listen to this. This is having an i7 6700, a Founders Edition GTX 1080, 256 gigs of PCI Express SSD, 32 gigs of SODIMM memory, and a whopping 3 terabyte of hard disk storage. I mean, damn, like literally, how did Asus, manage to fit, all this hardware? Like, look at this. Like, it is, even smaller than the length, of my hand. I mean, damn, under 6.5 kg. Asus engineers, designers have managed to fit all this hardware. I mean, kudos to Asus designers for designing this masterpiece, because it does look like an alien ship has landed on Earth because of the RGB theme and all that. You can see it very well, and the design just mesmerizes the whole experience. But does all this premium hardware lose their performance by fitting them in such a compact form factor from a regular mid-tower PC? Let's test that out, because that is the million-dollar question. Let's go ahead and test it. So I immediately fired up the ID64 system stability test for around 10 to 15 minutes, and I was literally surprised, because judging by the form factor Asus has gone with, I was pretty much sure that this PC is going to be thermal throttling. But to my surprise, it was not at all thermal throttling, because the maximum temperatures I saw were around 80 to 85 degrees Celsius. But do note that that was before I replaced the stock thermal compound. So I replaced the stock thermal compound with the Cooler Master Gel Maker. That is a very good thermal compound which I have been using for a couple of months now, and I was able to see a drop of 10 degrees Celsius in the temperatures. Then they came down to 70 to 75 degrees Celsius under full load on ID64 stress test for 10 to 15 minutes. So really, Asus should have used a better quality thermal compound. But if you are willing to break your warranty, or if it is out of warranty period, then definitely you can go ahead and do this yourself, because in terms of cooling, the dual fan design, and the heatsink, they are doing a pretty good job, because most of the games these days, some of them utilize the CPU at 100% load, but some of them does not fully utilizes the CPU. So you're good to go. And in the ideal temperatures, they were around 30, 40, 45 degrees Celsius. So they're pretty much acceptable, considering the form factor you are getting. I mean, that is with the form factor you can compromise this much, I think so. Then I played a couple of games, and the results are as follows. this delivers the performance that Asus promises you. But as the Founders Edition card, the 1080 is known to run a bit hotter, you can definitely go ahead and try to change the thermal compound on that also, to see some considerable improvements in the temperature. But I think so that should not be a really big problem here. Now let's talk about what Asus is offering in terms of the connectivity on the H170 chipset motherboard which they are using. So you would be getting 2 into 3.1 USB, 2 USB 3.0, 2 USB 2.0, so no lack of USB ports, and these are all the ports which you would be finding in the back. 1 into RJ45 port, and you would be also getting 802.11 AC Wi-Fi, so which supports both 2.4 and the 5 GHz band, and it is Bluetooth 4.0 compatible, and below I think so not 4.1, I don't know exactly for sure, but that was in the spec sheet. Spec sheet. Sorry for my pronunciation, but as I was saying, that you would be finding two DC input jacks. Yes, two input jacks, and you might be wondering, why are there two input jacks? Well, that is because the cleverness of Asus, and they want to save you some of your power bill. They have separated the power for the GPU and for the rest of the system. So in theory, they have distributed 180 watts to the system and 230 watt for the GPU, as the GPU is having the most TDP in this whole machine. So Asus is supplying you with two of the massive power bricks you are gonna find, and thanks to Asus that they are in a little cradle of them, so they won't be budging around all of them by self. But one thing which hits my OCD a lot, that Asus has given a brib length of cord. They have given one power cord is plenty enough and one power cord is very short. I mean, why Asus? Why have you done this? It really makes a nightmare if you don't want to use a power strip and you don't have any wall outlet near this PC, so it just makes a nightmare. But as always, you can get some replacement power cables, and also you would be finding a Kensington lock at the back. So now let's talk about the front I/O you will be getting. You will be getting a DVD writer, which is in the red accent, and which is actually a little popped out right now because I have opened this PC and I forgot to put the screw back of the DVD writer, but it will not look like that in your unit. And obviously a power button with white LED, not RGB, white LED, and two USB 3.0 ports, and a mic and a headset input and output audio jacks. So that you are not short of USB ports. So there are 8 USB ports, and I don't think so that you are gonna run out of these anytime soon in the near future. So now let's talk about the audio which it is offering. So it does offer 7.1 channel audio, but as you know that this is based on the H170 chipset motherboard. So like really the audio isn't that great at all. I mean, literally Asus has managed to put all that great hardware, but I think so Asus should have worked more on putting a better motherboard in this like a Z270 or a Z170 chipset. At that time Z170 was there when this was released, so they would have they should have put a better audio solution, because the audio quality is not that great at all. And this is one of the things I hate about this, that while gaming I was not able to get the full audio experience which you should be getting during the intense gaming you would be doing on this beast, because rest all it delivers the performance, but really it is lacking in the audio part. So I think so in the future generation of this, Asus should really improve the audio quality in this. And now finally let's talk about that light show or the RGB show which is going on here. So it is having in total of 3 RGB zones. So as you can see, these two are individual zones which are so these are the 2 zones, and one is at the bottom. I'm going to show you in the b-roll. So in terms of in total 3 RGB zones are there, and you can control them by the Asus 2 software. And I literally felt like there were very less customizable option for the RGB, because there were really like a pulse effect. You can sync it up with the music, and you can sync it up with the with the different temperatures your components are performing, so the zones will light up accordingly. Yeah, you can change it to any color you want, like 16.8 million colors or I don't know what, but in terms of effects, I think so those can be added later on also by Asus in the Aegis 2 software, and that would be a good addition also, because I think so with the wave effect it's gonna look more cool. And now let's talk about the SSD performance in this. So they are using a Samsung PCI Express SSD, and the results are very good. I was able to get read speed of 2000 Mbps and a write speeds of 1200 Mbps. I mean, that's totally impressive. The OS is on the SSD itself, and over that you are getting 3 terabyte of hard disk storage. Like, I don't think so anytime soon you would be running out storage, or out of storage on this massive beast. And you would be getting Windows 10 Home Edition with this, and a couple of Asus and third-party softwares, and literally just uninstall the McAfee right after you unbox this product. That is total shit. Antivirus. Windows Defender is best according to my opinion, and you can do whatever you want, but that's my opinion. And yes, Asus does offer a keyboard and mouse combo with backlight, but really they just get the job done. They are not mechanical or mecha membrane type. They're just a generic basic keyboard and mouse to get you started with this. And do know that they do not provide an monitor with this. You have to buy your own monitor. They just provide you all the essentials except the monitor to start with it, and you are pretty much good to go. And with the keyboard, the only feature I liked is that the inclusion of a big volume rocker. So during gaming, if I have to set my volume levels, then I can do that very easily. And the mouse performance was not that great. As you can see, I'm not using those. I'm using my Logitech G series mouse and keyboard. You can see in the back. So I think so you should invest in a much better pair of mouse and keyboard to get the full gaming experience that it is going to be offering. And now finally talk about the upgradability. I mean, sure, if you're willing to break that warranty sticker, and if you're out of your warranty period, then definitely you can upgrade almost all things except the motherboard, because that is a custom H170 Asus motherboard, which they have specially made for the G20 series only. But except the motherboard, all the things are pretty much acceptable. And yes, I tried to swap the 6700 for the 6700K, but as this H170 chipset does not support overclocking, so it was just really no good of upgrading to a K processor. But yeah, literally you can upgrade to a non-K processor in the future. And do know that if you want to upgrade your graphic cards, I mean, yeah, the 1080 is almost on the top. The 1080 Ti and the Titan XP, leave them aside. But if you want to upgrade to a more powerful in the near future, then do note that the power supply supplied with it for the GPU only gives out 230 watts. So you should not get a GPU with more than 230 watts of TDP. Then either you have to replace the power supply, which I don't think so you would be able to get easily. And Asus does provide an additional cable, and there is also an additional 6-pin PCI connector on the motherboard itself to if you have 8-pin and a 6-pin connector on your GPU, then that's no problem. But if you exceed that 230 watts of TDP, then you are in a little bit of situation. Yeah, rest aside, this is pretty much very, user upgradable, friendly, because these is manufacturer are, putting custom components, in their PC. But if Asus is not following that philosophy with G20, they want their, consumers to, be, able to upgrade the PC, as the time goes by. So yeah, and also, if you're gonna, build, same PC, with the same hardware yourself, just think about that. You are gonna lose the compactness which this is offering, and there would be, a mere difference of like what I think so, $100 or $150, which sums around, 10,000 Indian rupees, 10 to 15,000 Indian rupees. But with, if you're giving that much amount of extra money also, I don't think so, that you are, trading in with anything, because with the conventional mid tower PC also, you are never gonna get the compactness which this is offering. So that's it for this video. I hope you like this video. Hit the like button if you like this video, and you know what to do. And please subscribe to my channel, share this video with your friends and family. And I have the links for Asus India website. Do check them out. They have an awesome line of product, available for you guys. And a huge shout out to Asus India for sending me this product for review. And I will see you in my next video. Peace.